concerning me peeps and NBA fans all around the world. The Dallas Mavericks are now the NBA 2010, 2011 season champions. Okay, fine. A lot of people want to know what I thought and what PFE thinks, the NBA expert right there. And we had the Heat, but we were right there with the Mavericks too. And you know that. Now here's the thing. There's a lot of things that went down in this game. And I think LeBron needs to figure out how to really, close it out and win and stuff like that. But it's not just that LeBron and those guys maybe didn't win it, but it's also that the Mavericks won it. And they stepped up. And a lot of people that are saying stuff about and I know Desi and some other, concerned media fans out there want us to speak on it, and we're doing it right here. Now, here's the deal. A lot of people remember, it wasn't that long ago that people were talking about the Mavericks, they were maybe soft, and maybe, first of all, a person putting knowledge and facts, I can't say Spurs open entertainment purpose, only to exclaimers. So maybe some people were saying that the Mavericks couldn't close it out. They were soft, this, that, whatever, and they stepped up. Well, how many years did it take them to do that? So, and don't forget that, when Shaq went to MIA, he didn't win the first year either. So sometimes, people are trying to, play the violins and have some kind of funeral march or something like here for the Heat. Hey, they made it all the way to the NBA Finals, and they pushed it to 6 games. That's a huge accomplishment. So if you want to slam on the Heat, you better start slamming on the Celtics and the Bulls and Portland and the Lakers who got swept and all those other people too. So LeBron and the 3 Kings are fine. They have some things they need to step up, and the NBA expert's going to speak on that. But it was a great game. And it was a game where Dirk Nowitzki, he is the NBA Finals MVP, and deservedly so. Now, I've heard other people out there talking about Jason Terry. Hey, Terry, Kid, everyone did a great job. But don't get it twisted. It was all about Dirk Nowitzki. You take Dirk out, and you lose at least 2 games. And so that's the whole deal. It's the big man from Germany who got it done, and he's got a ring right now. Now, what's going on with the Heat? What's going on with the Mavericks? All that, let's talk to the NBA expert right here who's going to set you straight. What's going on, Paul?
Rick Carlisle had more pieces to play with than Eric Spoelstra did. Still, he was outcoached. Dallas did a great job of mixing up their zone defenses, man-to-man defenses. They made the substitution and put Jose Barea in the starting lineup in Game 4, I believe, or Game 5. And they won. They won all 3 games with him in the starting lineup, so it must have been Game 4. Still, the main problem for the Heat in this series was LeBron James, and it was very simply. And there's a man named Brian Windhorst who writes for ESPN.com, the Heat Index. He's followed LeBron's career since LeBron was in high school. He's been writing about him since then.
Wow.
And he basically said, look, I always thought LeBron had an issue with nerves. He gets nervous. Game 2, when they blew the 15-point lead. They were up by 15 with 7 minutes to go. Dwayne Wade was torching the Mavericks, and all of a sudden the ball started going to LeBron. Now, I don't think it was LeBron was trying to hog the ball. I actually think Wade was trying to let LeBron get some touches, kind of get some flow. And you saw it all throughout the rest of the series. Even when they won in Game 3. What happened with him was you saw him passing up shots. You saw him, dishing off the ball to people like Mario Chalmers and Juwan Howard when, somebody of his talent level. He was breaking short shots. He was airballing short shots. Miami was the better team. They should have won this title. They were favored. They had more talent, and they could have won. And I think they should have won. And it primarily falls on LeBron James, with some also going to the coach. But if LeBron played the way he played against Chicago, against Boston, Miami wins. Simple as that.
Well, there you go. And look, we've all known that. I was the kind of athlete, and Paul can tell you this, where I was super clutch. Okay? The chips are down, stacked up, and I always came through. Right? In my personal opinion, stuff like that. With maybe I can barely kind of sort of think about maybe 1 or 2 examples where that wasn't the case, but and even that was disputed. I was super, super clutch. At the same time, we've always known, so the bigger the stage, the better I did, right? At the same time, we've also known a lot of people who had all the talent in the world, and, you know, for some reason they had a hard time in the big, like Paul said, in the big spotlight. So we all know these, you know, what I call practice champions, or people that are awesome, unbelievable in a pickup game, whatever like that. But then when you've got the stands filled and you put the lights on and the clock's going, it's not the same athlete. And so, you know, with LeBron or something like that, I don't know what's going on there, but there were some things I didn't like. I didn't like some of his body language of parts in the game. I didn't like where, here's the other thing I like, you know, going off of our buddy there, JT the Brick. Love him, and Tom Looney, great show. And he was talking about this last night, and he made a great point, which was like, look, dude, how do you just play LeBron for 40 minutes? You know, you take your time out, you get your rest, whatever like that. This is the must-win game. It's the NBA Finals. You've got one of the best athletes on the planet. You roll them out, you know, 45, 48 minutes, whatever like that. If you've got Dirk sitting down there and you've got this big lead, you know, why do you have, you know, some of your stars on the bench stretch out that lead, dude? Close the show. Paul, what do you got going on there?
Well, let me just say two things. You made a good point there. You have one of the best athletes in the world. Well, LeBron James, the best basketball player in the world. I don't care what anybody says. Try to tell me somebody who's better. Kobe? No. Kobe's on the downside. He's still great, but he's starting to slip. Kevin Durant? No. Kevin Durant still has a fair number of things to learn. Derrick Rose? No. We saw Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose honestly was choking like in that series the way LeBron choked in this series. I love Durant and Rose, but they're not there yet. They're not as good as LeBron yet. However, if the only series you want for the finals, you would think LeBron's like, you know, he's nothing. He's like, maybe he's an all-star, maybe. You couldn't tell how great he was during this series. Now, and that's, you know, that's just because of how he played. So he gave the haters all the, you know, there's a number of people that don't like him in the media, in my opinion, and now they have, you know, they have stuff they can talk about forever. Let me just say one other thing, because I've seen, you know, this is one of the excuses going around for him today. He played too many minutes. No, I'm not buying that. I'm not saying he wasn't a little fatigued, but the mistakes that he was making were not about fatigue. They were mental mistakes. They were like, he just was sleepwalking. I mean, you just see guys blowing by him, and he's hardly even doing, he's not even, it's like he's just standing there like a statue.
Well, look.
Including on rebounds, and on offense, he's moving, he's working, he's just passing. Don't tell me he was tired.
Well, look, I don't want to hear anything like that. Let me tell you something. When I used to wrestle or something like that, and we'd go to overtime, whatever, nobody gets to sub in for me, dude, okay? And you got to suck it up and make it happen and get the win right there. Or, you know what this is like? This is like, I mean, think about this. Oh, 20 minutes, I'm going to sit down a little bit. Shut up, okay? I mean, think about, like, having a Super Bowl and Tom Brady or Brett Favre. Tom Brady, are you going to bench Tom Brady and rest him for a series if it's tied up? Are you insane? Are you going to ever rest your starting QB for an entire series or something like that? Let alone, I mean, I can't even remember when they've done it for even one play or something. Or something like Brett Favre, who's hobbling around and looks like an ambulance ward at times or something like that. I don't even know what an ambulance ward is, but you know what I mean. An injury ward, an ambulance, this and that, whatever. I mean, you get him in there, you're here to play. This is it. This is the whole deal. This is why you get paid the big checks. You can't rest LeBron James, dude. If LeBron James needs rest in the NBA Finals, there's a problem with that, and that's what I'm saying right there. So, I mean, I don't want to hear any of that. The bottom line is the Mavs won this. They went out there and they got it done. Whatever, you know, issues they had in the past, they shook them off and they stepped up and they got the ring. They decided that they're here to win and they're going to go for it. The Miami Heat, in my opinion, they had home court advantage on the 2-3-2 setup. They had the better talent and they just didn't get it done. That's it. That's the end of the story right there. But you tell us what's up. You've heard from the NBA expert. You've heard from the 4-time national champion. If there's anything that I know, it's about winning, and he knows about the NBA. And I love LeBron, and I love the Three Kings, and we love everything about it. But you got to give it to Mark Cuban and you got to give it to the Mavs and my boy Jason Kidd and Dirk Nowitzki, the MVP, the big 7-footer, did what he needed to do, and we had a lot of that bench stepping up with Barrera and everybody else and Terry, and they were getting the threes going, and they got it done. That's the bottom line. I want to know what you think about this, and what does this mean going forward? Look, there's a lot of people that, like someone else said, the phones are open. If you don't think that people are going to see all the people saying, oh, it's with LeBron. In my opinion, forget about it. The phones are open.
Let me just say this real quickly.
Everyone wants to go to Miami now.
The Heat need a point guard. The Heat need a center. They didn't have real ones of those. Although Mario Chalmers, backup point guard, played well in the finals. They will get better. They will get stronger. They will have more cohesion. But they should definitely improve.
Look, it's the first year for the Three Kings. They made it to the finals. They win 6 games.
Yeah, I love LeBron.
Love LeBron. So now it's time to step up. And look, Dallas has an older team. Miami has a younger team. Miami's got South Beach. Dallas is cool. But, look, a lot of people love, Miami and South Beach. That's why Florida, I think, has the highest tourism rate, I believe, in America, whatever like that. It's a destination. People like that whole situation. So I think there's a lot of people on a lot of teams that are going to want to go down there and join the party, if you will, down at South Beach and with Miami and the Three Kings. And I expect if they do what they need to do, make the moves in the offseason, improve their team, do the work they need to do, they can be better than ever. And we'll look forward to the 2011-2012 season. But the story right now is that the Dallas Mavericks have won it. They are the champions. And I want to know what you think about it. I'm John DeVillero, the 4-time national champion. That is Paul, the NBA expert. We're Conservative Media. And we will see you next time.